You're cordially invited to celebrate the birth of Sean Puffy Combs.
Puffy. P. Diddy.
P. Diddy?
P. Diddy?
I thought his name was Puff Daddy.
Puff.
P.D.
P. Daddy. Diddy. Puffy Daddy. P. Diddy.
You are cordially invited to celebrate the birth of P. Diddy.
Sean P. Diddy. Puff. Pastry Combs.
Puff the Magic Dragon. Puff Daddy.
Puffy.
I call Puffy Sean John.
Got a lot of names, huh? Let's get some more names.
H.R. Puff and Stuff. Sean P. Puff. Puffy Combs. Bad boy.
You can call him birthday boy on this night.
Sean John Puffy Combs. Sean Puffy Combs.
Yo, Puff Daddy Combs!
My man, Puffy.
Big boy!
The legendary Puff Daddy.
P. Diddy. Yes.
Puff Daddy.
Cheese Puff!
That's the one you need to use.
Puff Daddy.
Hey! Hi, guys. How you doing? On November 4th, you are cordially invited to the birth of Puff Daddy. Yay!
We're so dead. Did you just see?
I hate mirages.
Come on. Guys, you want some water?
You're losing it. Your mind is playing tricks on you.
We're gonna die out here. Oh my, look at that!
No, stop. You're seeing things. It's just a mirage.
Welcome to the soiree.
Are you sure this is a mirage? The Fiat over there has 4 doors. Fiat only makes small cars. It's not real.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's go.
Bye, Diddy Mirage.
You're definitely gonna die now.
The all-new 4-door Fiat 500L. Unbelievably big.
I want to take Diddy Mirage with me.
Yeah, don't do that.
I feel like I'm on a TV show.
Harold. Welcome. Team, meet Harold, the new store manager.
I have been dreaming of this my whole life.
Dream, 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 dream. Dream, dream, dream when I want you. In my arms when I want you. And all your charm.
I don't do dream sequences.
That's fair.
Whenever I want you, all I have to
Harold.
do
Harold.
is dream.
Harold. Harold.
They're all really here, aren't they?
Yes, Harold, they are.
Only one star can bring all these stars together. That's the magic of Macy's.
Ciroc Smooth Talk with Diddy.
A lot of people ask me, Diddy, how do you come up with so many incredible, ultra premium flavors for Ciroc? And I simply tell them, I just pay attention to my lifestyle, what's really going on. It's that black excellence, baby. I figure I could put it in my vanilla ice cream if I want. I could mix it with a little bit of, I don't know about you guys, but I have to have my dirty chai latte. But you know what I do to make it an extra special day? I put in that French vanilla. Shh, don't tell anybody. French vanilla, welcome to the family. You know I never let y'all down, so let's turn up.
Them modest get-togethers, others hedonistic romps. For the next 53 seconds, we'll take an in-depth look inside Diddy parties.
Diddy once threw a party on a jet flying around the world. Now, it started on a Tuesday and somehow ended on the previous Sunday. I don't know how he did that.
Now that I'm engaged, I've decided to slow down a little. 3 Diddy parties a week. Maybe 4. Well, not including the weekends.
Well, I remember one day we went to this Diddy party.
Well, what happened?
Lil John forgot his pimp cup.
Yep.
D-Rock went to Diddy and asked if he had a pimp cup Lil John can borrow.
Man, he had a whole bunch of pimp cups.
He had a pimp set.
It's hard to say which is more off the hook. A Diddy party or a Diddy after party. Or a Diddy after party, which is basically a pre-party for the next Diddy party.
The Diddy Party legend continues tonight at 8 p.m. 7 Central.
Welcome to the Friday Nights. I'm Jason Sandberg. I had a fantastic week. I got this one in the mail. This is a book by J.M. DeMatteis. He's doing this. He's been doing this crowdfunding thing where he'll do 4 different comics, and you could back all 4 or one of them. I picked up the first issue of this godsend. Looking forward to reading the second issue. Always great to see work by him. Everybody loves Craven's Last Hunt. I have a soft spot for his cap run with Mike Zeck back in the day. Always a great writer. Looking forward to reading this. The other thing is that I was told, rumor has it, that this might be the last Diamond preview catalog. Possibly.
End of an era.
End of an era. Now, maybe they've got a buyer now. Maybe this will turn around. But people have told me it's also like the thinnest Diamond catalog in a long, long time. So I'll see what gems I can find in here and put in my order. And as always,
got a green section still. Does it still got a green section for indies?
Yeah, the green section's got like Fantagraphics in there and stuff like that. and then Craig, I'm sure you're green with envy right now because you couldn't find this. It sold out.
Yes, I was running around all my comic book stores. Even the one that told me I wasn't welcome, I bowed down and asked that they don't have it. But.
All right. And so those of you that are tuning in, you'll probably all know about Narwhal, Per Berg. This is a gem. I highly, highly recommend this. This is a hardcover. It's an adaptation of Nosferatu. This is a fantastic, beautiful book. Highest recommendation if you want to dip your toe into this young man's work. And as always, I'm hard at work on Jupiter issue 2. Jupiter issue 1 is in demand on Follow My Comic and Indiegogo. As I mentioned last week, due to just craziness at work, I'm highly in demand at work. Yes. So this book, the issue 2, it's probably not going to launch until the end of the year, maybe early 2026, but it will be worth the wait. Jupiter issue 2 will be over 50 pages. Looking forward to sharing some sample art with you all soon.
I'm glad we got you locked down in a contract for Friday nights, so you're obligated.
Well, until I'm off of probation, I'm kind of stuck here. Once my probation's over and I can go outside on Friday nights, we might have to renegotiate this whole arrangement. But otherwise, I'm happy to be here. Craig, how was your week?
I'm having a great week. Again, I just love summer. I love when the winter's over and I can just go outside and enjoy the beautiful weather. This is the one book that I got that arrived. Is the Atlantean Volume 2 by Russ Leach and Randy Zimmerman. And following the continued journeys of Cull and Brule. Again, it's a fantastic story. And I'm trying to work my magic to try to get this into basically a chain store here in my hometown.
Okay.
So hopefully, fingers crossed. Trying to get Arrow Comics into brick and mortar stores isn't easy, but we'll see if I can pull that off. So.
And rumor has it they're going to be campaigning for issue 3 soon.
Yeah. I actually got a small little tiny trailer. I don't know if people want to see that. That's kind of funny. It's a They Live trailer. I can throw that. Let me see if I can find that thing. Okay, here we go. So it's just 1 minute.
Okay. Love it. Good stuff.
So that's
Craig, are you more of a They Live or the Thing guy? If you had to pick between the, I know it's a hard, and I know you need the wisdom of Solomon to choose between the two, but what would you go with?
Definitely a They Live. I thought that book was based on reality. I was convinced there were glasses and there were lizard people, and I had to find them. So.
It aged really well.
Yes,
definitely. Anything else this week that's new? Any more artwork for Soltec?
No, I don't have anything more to present on my project, but yeah, I'll keep us posted when I get new pages and new updates. We haven't started sequential pages yet, but that'll probably start next month. So excited. Who do we want to have go next?
K-pop. How was your week? You reading anything new? Anything interesting?
Not really reading anything right now, but I did just get a whole bunch of stuff in from campaigns. So that's kind of run around a con not too long ago, which was actually pretty cool because I won this from Alex Saviuk.
I love his work.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I love
it was
his
great.
Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah, it was for one of the sketch battles they had it for Motor City, so I got to win this. So yay, it was exciting.
Love it. He seems like a great guy too.
He's awesome. He's a nice guy. He's really nice. That was really interesting to see how they did the artwork for the original, like the spreads, like the one little panels in the newspaper, like how huge those actually are. Like they're massive.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought they were that big because normally like 11 by 17, but they're larger than 11 by 17. It's like one little strip.
Yeah, and then they can use a kind of thick brush, but it still gets a thin line.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing they do. I don't know.
Per, are you ever tempted to work like super big?
I've heard
Do you
people
ever
been
get to
doing
work
it.
super big?
Yeah, they were talking about it on like one of the Miller times with the group people, and it was like Kerry Andrews. I think he was saying he draws super big, but I don't know if I have a big enough scanner. But I guess you could just draw like panel by panel and kind of map it out. But you know what I've been testing out? I've been testing out drawing really small. I have a little magnifying glass, and I hold it up, and I've been drawing like this kind of.
Yeah.
You'll have to share some of that. Once you master that, working at that scale, you have to share some with us.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, and this week for me, real fast, Dale A on Twitter. I actually don't know his last name. He's just Dale A. He's a perennial comic reader around the scene, and he has his own comic that he's kind of giving it away for free. I think he has like a few hard copies, and he was mailing them out to anyone who wanted one. And I said, I want it. It's called Sword and Chivalry. And I was kind of surprised because I really liked it, and now I want to read the next one.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
I like hearing that.
Good to
see if we can't find a link for that while we're on the show and share it with the chat. But
have you had time to? You're very, very, very busy young man. Have you had time to read anything else that you want to recommend? Anything else? Are you hooked on anything else when you've got time to read?
I'm not reading any big series right now. I'm reading some short story like prose books, and then I'm trying to read this Mickey Mouse and Goofy comic where what's the one where the guy who chases windmills? You know what I'm talking about?
Don Quixote.
Yeah, it's a Don Quixote version, but it's Mickey and Goofy, and that kind of sounds amazing. And you would think, but it's kind of for kids, so I've been bored every time I try to read it. But I gotta finish it. I think if I get into the middle of it, it'll be good. I just got to get in the right mindset, and the art is really great. So.
Let this be a lesson. Comics should not feel like homework, people.
Yeah,
it's true.
Craig, who's in the chat tonight?
Yep. Yeah, I've got many books where I stopped somewhere and I never resumed.
Yeah.
But here's Vulcan. Vulcan's first in the chat. Says, "Whoa, yes, hail to you, Vulcan." Jiffy Pop. I don't know. You kind of stumped me with that one.
It was a P. It was a P Diddy.
You can blame me for that. Everyone knows I struggle to find new creative intros and outros for every show, but I do my best. Chris is here joining us. Says hello, everyone. Hello. Chris is doing well. His campaign's through the roof. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah.
My good friend, always fresh with here. Look at here. Check this out. I got I would like to thank the Academy. I got this Academy Award.
I'm looking forward to eventually getting mine when time allows.
Yeah, but my friend.
So Per, this is how Craig's wife. This is how Craig convinced his wife to keep letting him podcast because I won an Oscar. So
that's right. She thinks it's legit. She thinks I got.
She can just never hold it because it's so light. But as long as she ever looks at it,
that's right.
It'll trick her.
I'm going places with this show. Edwin's joining us. He's in the chat as well. Says hail peeps, and Edwin's going to be on Friday, June 27th. is joining us. So that's coming up quick as well. And Chris Faction's joining us as well. Says,
Hey,
yo.
Chris.
Thank you as well.
I just thought of one other book I read.
Yeah,
it's funny because I'm like, I heard there's a streamer I watch sometimes when I draw, and he plays Resident Evil games, and he said that he keeps a journal of all the movies he watches and all the games he plays. And I was like, I need to start doing that because if people ask me that question, I'm like, I don't know, like what did I read? I read something, so I have sort of started doing that. But the book is it's from Tanner Edelman, and it's called The Displacer, and it's issue 2. They're episodic, so it's the second Displacer adventure, and it's really good. That's another one that's like really good. So that I straight up recommend. I think both of you guys should, or all three of you guys should check this out.
Check out The Displacer. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll definitely look that up. Track them down. But here's Philbo. Philbo's joining us. Says, good evening, one and all. And I think that's everyone active. We got 41 watching us live at this time. So, yeah.
All right, Craig. I've been so busy at work this week. What's the most important news story that was maybe overlooked this week? What do we got first?
So 2025 doesn't have as much insanity as some of our, like, this is our second year of doing this.
Yep.
And I find that the news stories are kind of like, just getting day-to-day sort of stuff. But this first story that I'm bringing to us comes to us from The Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
A tourist damages 2 of China's terracotta warriors after jumping the fence. So the interesting part was reading this developing story. As you know, with China, it's really hard to get accurate information. So first and foremost, it was being labeled a domestic tourist, which I thought was kind of funny. They were saying domestic tourist. What's a domestic tourist? But they finally admitted I think he's German nationality, but has serious mental health issues. And then they're just playing it off. They're almost as if they feel bad for the person for wrecking, 2,000-year-old terracotta statues. This guy jumped into the pit. I forget what the distance was, but it was a significant jump into the pit.
It was like 15 feet or something like that.
Yes.
Wow.
So what do we think? What do we think about the state of the world now, Jason? With tourists jumping, do we gonna have to stop going to places or what?
So let me tell you, people. When it comes to somebody in China destroying 5,000 or 6,000-year-old statues, this is par for the course. This is Mao's Cultural Revolution. This is nothing. This is like dog bites man news in China. Does anybody disagree with me?
No. Well, it says they got 8,000 of them. I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting. That's kind of cool. But yeah, if you got 8,000, you can stand to lose a couple.
Well, they're all individual. Each one is completely different they're not like completely remade.
Oh, so those 2 poor guys.
Completely different. So
I'm got destroyed by that German.
Why did he jump in there? Did he recognize one? Did he think he knew one of those? Is that why he just jumped in there, try to start a fight or something? I was like, oh, this guy.
K-pop. Do you think he was cosplaying as Taliban?
I don't know. I'm very curious. Maybe he thought he was just in a martial arts movie and just really wanted to get down there.
Yeah, it said he was attacking him. So maybe it's like a fight he knew he could win.
They were moving really slow.
Yeah.
This is a warning. Don't take shrooms and go looking at ancient statues.
No.
Yeah.
So K-pop, any truth to the rumor that they actually would put chia pet chia pet vegetation on these things?
Of course. How else do you think we got the chia pets? As we grew up with.
Yeah. You just have to water. You have to water Emperor Qin's entire army and watch him grow.
That's how they got 8,000 of them. Just water it and grew.
State of the world. So so it'll be interesting. This is still open though. They didn't stop viewings. Surprisingly, I figured this would have been that's it. Kick all the tourists out, but they didn't. Yeah. Apparently, didn't interrupt things at all. They just kept tourists coming regardless.
Yeah.
So Per, if you were an absolute ruler in ancient times, as you were facing your final few days and years, would you rather have like a big pyramid and be buried in it, or would you rather have a terracotta army? What's the way to go out?
I think I might take the terracotta army as long as it's 8001.
Whoa. Maybe there were 10,000 and then somebody else jumped in a pit with them and fought the rest of them.
Yeah. Yeah, there used to be so many more. People have been fighting this army for years.
This is
That's why they had to build
2,000
so many
years.
of them.
You've been fighting this army.
Brendan Fraser destroyed a few of them, didn't he?
Oh, that's right.
Isn't there like they say the the legends or whatever that emperors they would have people work on these things and then they kill the workers or they bury them alive or whatever. And
true.
So yeah, I wonder if that happened with these poor artisans
yikes.
making this army.
Do you think it started out where they're like, good news, Emperor, we have 1,000 terracotta soldiers ready to guard your tomb when you die. And he's like, I think we need a spare. What if somebody breaks one? Give me 1,000 more. And then they're busy at the kiln and they're getting all the clay molded and all that. And then they come back and like, good news, Emperor, we've got 2,000 terracotta soldiers. Like,
I'd say it's a pretty effective deterrent because he's still got 800 soldiers guarding him and no one's violated his tomb yet. So it's mission accomplished.
Until the other day. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Couple comments.
Oh, yeah. Who's
tourist is already dead. Yeah, and he was never heard from me.
No.
Yeah.
Sounds like a clear case of stand your ground. That's funny.
I wonder if one of the terracotta soldiers is real and he's just waiting for someone to walk by.
He's like, you go to Paris and they've got the guy who looks like a statue, but he's like painted like a statue, and he's like,
it's like iRobot with Will Ferrell and just waiting and does the look left and right and away he goes.
Yeah.
K-pop when the guy had his oopsie daisy and broke it. Do you think there was this stern Chinese communist guy who like turned around and pointed at the Pottery Barn sign that said like you break it?
Yes, clearly they charged him a massive amount of money for that as well. Also, it looks like it's very dusty in there, so I don't even think they're having people go and clean this place. So it looks like I'd be sneezing,
Yeah. Oh, well, just think about how nerve-wracking that would be you have to go in there and dust.
Oh, it'd be, time consuming. But also, so when they got all these like 8,000 warriors together before the emperor died, do you think he was like, wow, my work here is done. I can rest in peace now. You think that's what happened? He saw all of them just lined up.
Absolutely. He knew they would guard him for eternity. Per, do you think they're lined up like dominoes where like if you tip one over, they just like keep.
He ordered that, but they didn't get to it in time. And then he was trying to hang on because they had built like 90% of them. And then he made it to 8,000.
Okay. Chris Fisk got a comment here. Will Ferrell would have been a better Del Spooner in iRobot.
For sure. Would have been more of a comedy at that point for sure. But,
all right, I think we're done with this one.
Yeah,
I can't think of any. I got nothing else funny on this one.
Well, like I said,
funny?
Yeah, don't shoot the messenger with the news. I can't help it if the news isn't doesn't cooperate with us week to week.
Hear that news? Get better.
All right. This one here comes to us from Popular Mechanics. Archaeologists follow a sketch drawn by Leonardo da Vinci, and basically following the sketch, it led to secret tunnels underneath a castle in Sforza Castle. So this is really cool piece of history where following one of Da Vinci's drawings actually led to them doing LiDAR and laser tests on a castle based on his sketches, and they did indeed confirm that those tunnels exist in real life.
Cool. That's actually cool. Are there terracotta soldiers under there as well?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's like similar. It's like archaeology or whatever.
Yeah.
So I read this one and they said that they're going to build a life-size model of the tunnels. They're not going to uncover them. They're going to like leave them covered up. And to me, that sounds like trust me, bro
Right. Yeah, their intent is to digitally map the entire tunnel installation, like you said, and then you can revisit those tunnels via VR and see with your own eyes what supposedly Leonardo da Vinci saw when he was.
See, we need a German mentally retarded person to break into those tunnels. Is what we need.
We can turn into our own version of Doom, and then you can fight terracotta warriors in the tunnels.
Yeah.
So you're saying Tom Hanks isn't going to piece together the clues and go down in that tunnel?
Right. No, that would be like the plot. Yeah, like I don't know what they're kind of leaving us hanging.
I don't know about Tom Hanks, but Nick Cage would definitely do that.
Oh yeah. He put on those little green eye shades, and he'd be looking at the sketch. The Safraza Castle, I think that's where he was building the Safraza horse. He was building this big clay horse to build a cast around it to do a bronze cast horse, and then the prince or whoever, the duke or whatever, he lost a war, so the enemy soldiers took over the castle and they used the clay horse for target practice. Right. Da Vinci just stood there just agape as he shot up his horse.
I never heard that story. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So he said, "Fine, I'll be down in the tunnels if you need me."
What do you think's down there? Like his hidden stash of ale and
It's got to be all kinds of interesting stuff down there. Well, if they're not trying to disclose what's down there, they might have found something quite interesting, and I'm very curious as to what kind of stone item was down there.
Anytime I hear tunnels, I'm like, human trafficking. I don't know what that be for this.
Yeah, need an escape route.
So Per, are you more a fan of Da Vinci's inventions and his scientific scientific mind and his speculative inventions, or are you more a fan of the finished paintings and so forth?
I mostly just know about the art and then the drawings, and the drawings are like there's like overlap there because the inventions have awesome drawings. Yeah. But yeah, like I never did a deep dive on Da Vinci yet. I think there was something with him and some of those guys in that era. They claimed they knew some esoteric shit, like if they're alchemists or whatever.
They knew the true bloodline of Christ. Sigmund Freud had a very poignant statement. His statement was, Leonardo da Vinci woke up in the dark. And I feel that statement. I feel the poignancy of that statement.
Yes.
It hits me right in the heart.
They're definitely ahead of their time. Especially if you see a lot of art, like everything was two-dimensional, very basic, basically my artistic skill prior to the Renaissance, and they were finally drawing, visual accurate representations and bringing that 3D world to life with artwork. Before that, it was just two-dimensional drawings.
Did they fix how they can paint cats? Because I know that was an issue for them. Nobody could paint a cat
because they wouldn't sit still, or what?
Yeah, maybe that's part of it. But all the cats look terrible in the Middle Ages and everything. At some point,
Da Vinci
killed one, so it was still, and they painted it or whatever.
Da Vinci would go into the marketplace and he would buy a bird and he would let it go so he could like focus on how it flew, and he would like make notes about the wing movements and stuff like that.
Trying to figure out lift. Yeah.
Yep, lift. So on the topic of we decided on this topic to do investigative deep dive into some of Leonardo da Vinci's more visionary inventions. Everybody's familiar with, he invented the tank, he invented temporary bridges, all kinds of fortifications, but he did some other very far-sighted inventions. So we're gonna do a little deep dive. We're calling this Da Vinci Genius Inventor. Let's see the first thing from his notebooks and try to guess what it is. All right. So what looks to me like something to cut up vegetables or store vegetables. What do you think, K-pop?
Dewormer.
Pierre, what does this look like to you?
It looks like a tomato paste maker or something.
Craig, what are you thinking?
It feels like ketchup on demand, where like he's got it on a timer. So.
All right, well let's see what this was. The Vegematic.
Right.
Leonardo da
He
Vinci
invented the Vegematic.
He did. It says 500 years ago. I mean, this is just an amazing guy, amazing man. All right, let's look at the next one. All right, so it looks like an egg. K-pop, what do you think this is?
Looks interesting. It looks like some kind of clock device, but also like can move around. But also, I think this might be the actual key that unlocks to awaken the terracotta soldiers. It looks like I think that's what it is.
It could be. Per, what do you think this is?
It looks like a artificial chicken womb.
That would be some crazy stuff. That'd be some crazy stuff. Craig, what do you think this is?
I think he's probably trying to build the ultimate defensive to protect his next horse artwork so it doesn't get damaged.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what did Leonardo da Vinci invent 500 years ago? And in the egg scrambler, yes.
That's of course, yes. That would make sense.
Amazing.
He was so before his time.
Totally before his time. All right, people had to wait 500 years to get that.
Whoa.
All right, K-pop, what do you think this thing is?
That is a torture device.
I like how your mind immediately goes to torture.
Yeah.
Per, you look at this. It's medieval times, late Renaissance. What do you think this is?
It looks like that sport that elementary school kids play where they knock the ball and
yes.
It rolls around the
tether ball.
Tether ball, yeah.
Mad Ruth, what is this? What could Da Vinci be doing? You think it's some sort of weapon?
I think he's attempting to pick locks. That's a foray into lock picking.
All right, well let's see. What did Da Vinci invent? The pocket fisher.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Oh, that was close.
All these things that people had to wait hundreds of years for. All right, let's see what else we got.
My question is, if any of his inventions had taken off, would he have had to sit there and make each one of these by hand? Like, how would
he would have had a little workshop?
Yeah. Maybe that's why he had so many inventions, because he draws it and he's like, fuck it. And he throws it over his shoulder.
All right, let's see. This looks like a noble woman, and something's going on with her hair. K-pop, what do you think this is?
I would say this is a curling system here, but also it could be a wig making machine. Either one.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Per, what's your guess?
It could be like an android with really wonky arms.
Oh,
yeah, that would be super ahead of his time.
He's sculpting.
I think it's a way to give people wet willies. It's a torture device.
I get it with the torture. All right, let's see. What was this? The Floby. Oh my God. Amazing.
Yes.
So, I love bringing education to the masses. This is further proof that Leonardo da Vinci was a creative genius inventor. This is just amazing stuff.
Is this, go back one real fast. Is this Leonardo da Vinci, or go for it?
Okay, sorry.
This is him.
He uses to shave the beard. He cut the beard with it. Yeah.
This is Tom Selleck's stunt double.
He looked like Boomhauer. People don't know this, but Da Vinci looked like Boomhauer.
Nice. He was essentially, QVC / infomercial of our time back in the day. Like, he invented all the things. Yeah.
He used to stand on stone blocks and try and peddle his wares.
I like how big that is, but it's only one. It's like this, just pulling this little tiny little thing up.
Who is he wasn't the ShamWow guy. It was the guy with the black beard, and he was like smelling like a clean.
The My Pillow guy. The My Pillow guy. Is that him?
Well, there was another guy who he died of an overdose like 17 years ago. And he wasn't the ShamWow guy. He was the
I remember who you're talking. I can picture the guy. He always wore a blue shirt. And it was like a cleanser or a detergent or what was it? Willie Mays.
Yeah.
Willie Mays. They got it over there. The Mays guy.
That's a future topic.
Yeah.
Is a deep dive on the telemarketer guy.
It is. Yes. It is. And then there was the guy who would go, you can make hundreds of dollars a day selling small classified ads. Do you remember that guy?
Oh,
Buying and selling and buying.
I think you say that woo guy always on the yacht. Look at all the deep women.
All right, we got 85 people watching live on this Friday night. Let's look at Leonardo da Vinci's last invention. Let's see what it is. All right, K-pop, what do you think this thing is?
Oh, definitely another torture device.
Per, what do you think?
A megaphone.
I think you're onto something. Craig, what do you think this is?
It's like a unicycle, except it's on its side. You turn it over and you stand into it like an ice cream cone.
I can see that. I don't think the roads in Italy were
Snow
good enough
cone
for...
maker, yes.
All right, let's see what it was.
Okay.
It was the first Mr. Microphone.
Oh, nice.
He was into Korean karaoke. People don't know this about him.
He was also the first K-pop star. Yes.
The King of France, he had Da Vinci on the payroll. And he said, I need you to prepare for the festival. Get us some entertainment. So, all right, let's see what we got here.
Radio Shack was good. Yes.
Chris Faction. No, we did talk about Atlantis a few weeks back, and you're welcome to come back on and share with us any Atlantis updates. Belmont is here. Have a fantastic weekend, new dad Belmont.
Yeah.
And Infinite Entertainment. Hello, lads. Hope you're having a great evening. We sure are.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's it for the Da Vinci deep dive.
Yes.
Amazing.
All right. What is our third topic, Craig?
Yeah.
Like the smash button.
Okay, so
someone smashed.
Our third and final topic for this evening comes to us from UPI. A truck rollover released 14 million bees onto a Washington road. So initial reports had it at 250 million bees released into the wild at the same time. As a result of this, a whole bunch of nearby bee catchers within various states nearby, they all rallied together and came in to support. They basically sectioned off the area for 24 hours. And then they tried to repair as many beehives as they could, hoping the bees would settle down, refine their queens, and return back to their hives. The area where these bees have gone out into the wild, a lot of those bees will simply become wild and will adopt new colonies and stuff. But they said if there's anything that needs to be pollinized within that area, they're going to have a very good year this year. So.
Wow.
We get to test of if you just have a lot of bees, is it good or bad? And we'll see.
So what do you think of this one, Jason? Do you think this is a government op of some sort or a genuine accident? What do you think is going on?
I think it's a genuine accident, but I think it brings to light what I call bee trafficking. These bees, they're moved from place to place. They're not paid anything, and yet their hard work, their hard sweat is what is fueling crop pollination and so forth. I think it's time for the bees to unionize.
That's right. The conditions in these boxes are very inhumane for bees.
It's too hot.
Yeah.
K-pop, how funny would it be if a bunch of Antifa guys try to quote unquote liberate the bees, and you see them running down the street holding those hive things, getting stung? How great would that be?
I would like to see that on any day.
They don't say how the accident happened, and that makes me wonder. I'm like, did the driver get stung and he's like, and he skids off the road, or did Antifa come and throw a giant, rope in front of the truck or whatever, so he slams on the brakes?
Oh, it's also this truck is very questionable. I see the hives stacked up there, but wouldn't they have just put it in a regular truck? Probably would have saved them this entire
thing. Yeah, a lot of things about it. Maybe it is a government op.
Yeah, where's the bungee cords?
It's not a very secure load, that's for sure.
No.
Imagine next time you're on the highway and you're driving next to a giant 18-wheeler with unsecured beehives. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
that's what's that movie? What are they? Final Destination.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's also the stunt for Final Destination. They did have those last time I was on, where they were driving around with the wood log trucks for the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe this is for the new one.
There is actual Final Destination in real life. They were doing a screening of the latest movie, and the ceiling of the theater collapsed on it.
That did happen. Yeah, that's rough.
All right, Craig. Chris is stinging you for your bad grammar.
Nice.
And then always fresh. How can we be mad at Jerry Seinfeld for this? There must be a way to blame him or at least connect him. He did that B movie. He did the B movie.
Very true.
Yeah, he's a bee enthusiast.
It's his fault for sure.
I got no problem with bees. I've only been stung once. No. I was getting on the bus to go to a track meet, and the guy was like 3 or 4 steps ahead of me in line to get on the bus, and he freaked out and he swatted the bee, and the bee hit me in the shoulder and just like instinctively stung me.
Oh, no.
Luckily, I'm not allergic to bee stings, but that's the only time I've been stung by a bee, and it wasn't the bee's fault. It was the other guy's fault.
Yeah, freaking out and getting upset. Yeah, I've never been stung, so I don't know. I don't think I've been stung anyway. So,
K-pop, when you were younger, did they ever talk about, like on the playground? Did they ever say, "Oh, they've got these wasps in Texas that are like killer wasps, and they're gonna eventually make their way up here"? Did you ever hear those kind of like folklore things on the playground?
Sometimes, but we weren't really too worried about the bees. I think back in the 80s, we were more worried about hairspray in the ozone layer than bees.
They still have the killer wasp rumors in Washington coming down from Canada, like over from China and then down. But yeah, it's like wasps are definitely more scary, or like yellow jackets. Bees, like honeybees, are the sweetest little guys. Mm-hmm. They I have a big rhododendron outside my house, and it's funny. It only blooms for like 2 or 3 weeks every year, but it's pretty epic. And then it's fun. You can walk up to it and you just start to hear the buzzing the closer you get. And then there's literally bees everywhere. Nice. And they're all just kind of cute at that. And there's bumblebees too, and they're kind of cute too. I think bees, they die if they sting you because it rips out their little stinger. Yeah. And so they don't want to sting you because they don't want to die.
Yeah, and they have a purpose. They gather honey. Like wasps and hornets, their only purpose is to aggravate and cause pain.
So. Yeah, and their stingers aren't barbed, so they can sting over and over again. So they're more quick draw on that.
Yeah. Craig, when you were youngster and they had the Guinness Book of World Records, did you always like look at the page with the guy with the beard full of bees? Do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah, maybe I could have more bees on me than him.
Probably.
That's not a Guinness record I want at any time in my life.
If he was driving the truck, though, he would not have had this accident. He would know how to manage his bees.
That's right.
That could be the reason he crashed the truck too, is he had bees sting him in his cab, and that was it.
Oh, that could be. I mean, because it looks like there was a tarp over just bees, beehives. Like it doesn't look secure whatsoever. Like, that doesn't seem logical at any point.
So Alex Fairby says this is further proof bees can't drive trucks.
Yeah. Let's see them get their license.
So there you have our 3 topics for the evening. I don't know if anyone has any more bee jokes for this one, but
I think this was a good lineup. This is a good bit of stories, and I think I don't have anything further to add.
Wow.
So
I feel like I know a little bit more about the world now. So thank you.
There you go. Especially Da Vinci, right?
Yeah. No, that some of those Da Vinci stories are legit fascinating.
Guy, there was there was one story where I think it was either him and Michelangelo. I was trying to one up each other, and Michelangelo took like a bar of iron or something like that, and he like bent it to show how strong he was, and he handed it to Da Vinci, and he said, "See if you can straighten that out." And Da Vinci's like, I am so done correcting your mistakes and straightening out your problems. I'm not going to do those. And then another story was when Da Vinci was an apprentice, his first time as an apprentice, the master painter that he was apprenticing with tried to haze him. And the master painter said, "Okay, I'm going to give you a little list of things to get here. I want you to get me a paint that's the color of the rainbow, but the colors don't mix together."
Right.
And here's a couple gold coins. You go to the market, you bring back the paint.
Don't
come back till you don't come back till you get the paint. So Da Vinci's like, "Oh, okay, I'll get this guy." And so he knew chemistry enough. Like he took to do the yellow, he took an egg yolk. He found like some cadmium he found about he basically got
Mercury,
he got
lead.
mercury. He got all these colors into a pot that was where all the colors of rainbow, but they wouldn't mix. And he brought it back, and his master painter guy that he was apprenticed to was like, all right, I'm impressed.
Yeah. Nice.
That sounds about right.
All right. And Chris Faction's got he helped the assassins mail a gun and kill the Pope's son.
Is that from the book or whatever, Da Vinci Code?
Right.
I can't watch anything with Tom Cruise anymore.
Tom Hanks?
Yeah, sorry, yeah, Tom Hanks. Yeah. I
Yeah,
like
neither
Tom
one
Cruise.
of them.
But yeah, Tom Hanks, I fell off.
Yeah,
Ever
I
since
agree.
he was part of Pizzagate.
That's right.
Yeah, I think I could probably watch Saving Private Ryan, but anything after that, I don't think I could watch it.
Castaway. That's about as far as I go, maybe.
Yeah.
All right.
But so I don't have a trailer to show for Per's work, but what I do have is I was able to pull a 5-page preview off of Dark Horse Comics site.
Nice.
So would you like to explore 5 pages of the first issue of Vatican City?
Let's take a look.
Yeah, let's do it.
So here we go is the first issue of Vatican City, and yeah, I don't know how do you want to do this, Jason? Just pop random questions, I guess, or
I'm going to just start by saying I've been a fan of Per's work for a while. I've been following other projects he's been doing independently. When I heard, actually, this is a little bit of like some like deep lore. About a year, it was like last February. Last February, I messaged Narwhal, Per Berg, and I said, I got a feeling Mark Millar's going to reach out to you. I just got a feeling. And am I lying or not?
No, that's true. And then it was like a month or two after that he did hit me up. So
wow.
So I'm in tune with the cosmos. And so when I heard that he was working with Mark Millar, I was like, this is fantastic. But I mean, so no matter what, I was going to buy it, right? Because my buddy's got a book, but this book is like a combination of Die Hard, a vampire apocalypse, and a heist film. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. Wonderful premise. So Per, give everybody, if anybody hasn't heard about this, give them the elevator pitch for Vatican City.
Yeah. It's like a bunch of different little subgenres, and one of them is like a siege kind of story. And the one that Mark invoked a lot, it was a John Carpenter movie, Assault on Precinct 13. That's what he kind of said, where the precinct is the Vatican City. But the other kind of part of this idea, it's vampire apocalypse, which is kind of one of those ideas. I guess, it's funny. Marvel did that idea last summer or the summer before, but they didn't do it as good. And Mark had thought of the idea before. And I know, like, I don't know, it's one of those things where the idea comes up twice, but that idea at the time when you hear it, it's like, how come no one's thought of that before? Like it's one of those like kind of obvious things. Like, wait a minute, what would the vampires, if they ever wouldn't they all just get together and take over the world? Like, what would that be like? And that's like what this story is. That's how it starts. And cool. So it kind of starts at a pretty fun, fast paced part, and a lot of people commenting on the pacing. They're like, it's just super fast paced. The whole story, is in 3 issues, kind of like a 3-act structure kind of thing. Really fun cliffhangers at the end of each issue.
So is Vatican City like the holdout against the vampire, like vampire world sort of thing?
Yeah, because they can't enter because it's holy ground.
Right.
And it's kind of just the lucky 1,000 or so that happen to be there. Kind of
under the protection of the Swedish Guard, or
yeah, the what are they? The Swiss
Guard. Sorry, yeah. Oh, that's a cool premise. So yeah, I was going through these, and yeah, so you do everything, right? You do colors, layouts, storyboards, paneling. Basically, you're a one-stop artist shop on these books.
Yeah, for these, I did everything. And I'm always down to collaborate in various ways. I've colored people's books. I had people color mine, but for these, I did everything. Yeah.
Yeah, some of these panels are just crazy. Like that one, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, that one I redrew early on because I was like had to email it to Mark. I got a couple of quick anecdotes I can tell you guys. One is like when he first hired me, I was like, "So do you want me to?" Because he sends me the script, and I'm like, "So do you want me to like do layout breakdowns and send them to you for approval, and then I can get going once you approve?" And he's like, "Nope, I only work with the best, so just do what you do." And I was like, "Oh man, that's too much pressure," but it's cool. Yeah. And so that kind of going hand in hand with this, like he hasn't seen it yet. And I have a version of that panel and I'm going to turn it in like the next morning or whatever. And I run out to the bar to watch a basketball game and it was just bugging me. And I was like, you know what? It's almost like the worst feeling in the world is when you're turning in art and you're like, I hope he likes it. Yeah. If you're like, I hope he likes it, then you know it's not good enough. And so like, I think I need to just redraw it. So I went home and redrew it.
No, I really love the layout, like that panel that takes the whole right hand side of the page. Like it really works really well for emphasis.
Yeah, this page, you can track like the eye line on any page, and so once in a while there'll be kind of a weird eye line because usually it's like a Z or whatever or reverse Z.
Yep.
But for this one, it's like a U. It's you go down and then you kind of go over and back up.
Yeah, that's cool.
And in terms of the pacing, it is a fast-paced. There's a fast-paced story. Within the first few pages, the vampire takeover of America is a fait accompli, and Europe is fallen. You see Europe falling, but in the first few pages, basically people are waking up in America, and it's basically over. It's over.
Okay, yeah, because it already happened. While they were sleeping, I guess, sort of.
Yeah, yeah. Like America isn't really part of the story, other than kind of right at the beginning. You see it get taken out pretty quickly.
And in the beginning here, they're basically kidnapping an archaeologist guy, and you're like, then you find out there's something in the Vatican City that the vampires want.
Ooh, terracotta soldiers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these panels, I really love. So for starters, this has got night, and it's incredibly hard to visualize night in comics and still have dynamic use of colors, and just the use of like basically blood effects at night. It's just such a cool way of using color for these pages.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been doing the printing my own comics and crowdfunding them for like almost 10 years, and that's always been an issue. Like if it prints too dark. And so I was really thinking that with CMYK help, it'll print a little like more accurate, a little brighter. But I was like, I wonder if I can do a way to do night, but be able to use like white. White is the brightest color, but mist feels like night can feel misty, and so I just throw some like white airbrush in there, and it keeps it pretty light, but it still reads as night. So that was working pretty good for this comic.
And the fact that you've got rain, that helps kind of sell the reflection, the reflectivity and all that.
Yeah, the rain was in the script and it's very dramatic. And some of this was like new for me too, because I was drawing this traditionally. That was part of like why Mark hired me, because he had seen some of my very early traditional art and he really liked it. And he's like, I want you to do the new comic like that. And it took me a second to like refine that style. But what I kind of had to do was find the tools. And it's like the 102 nib. They're like regular classic inking tools, but the 102 nib and like a Pentel brush pen and little liner kind of thing or whatever. So I had those, and then it did start to look more like the older art. But yeah, so this is all traditional, and he wants rain, and I'm like, rain is so easy to do digitally, but it's a little bit harder to do traditionally, because I don't know. But one thing is, say you do the awesome drawing, and then you're like, all right, time to maybe ruin it by drawing rain now. So for this, I used tracing paper over the top.
Oh, nice.
And that kind of worked for me, basically.
Very cool.
As a security measure, working conventionally, do you ever like get a page to like get it like safe, scan it, and then do the more adventurous stuff?
No, that's a good idea. I didn't really do that. I did a lot of like did do the security measure things, but a lot of times I would just switch to tracing paper, especially early on. Some of even what couple of the pages were like all tracing paper, And I'm kind of glad I quit doing that because eventually I was like, you know what I need to do? I just need to like erase a lot and get the pencils. And so I took down a whole eraser, which for anyone who's ever bought just one, like regular art eraser, like it's kind of hard to use the whole thing.
Yeah, they usually last years.
Yeah.
A couple of them kicking around.
Yeah.
I've had this in a bag for like 15 years.
Yeah.
Just one more page of shirt, but for starters, Alex VRB, thank you so much. He's sharing all the links in the chat today. Really appreciate it.
Oh, nice.
Vatican City, if you're looking into Vatican City now, I've checked it out on Amazon. You can get all 3 issues in a Kindle bundle. However, I was talking to Per previously. If you are looking for the trade for Vatican City, which I want the complete trade, you're saying that's going to drop this November. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's three double issues, so it is like full trade size pretty much.
Oh, good size.
And issue 3, what week in June is that? Is that shipping in June still? The 3rd issue?
Yeah. It's like June 18th or something like that is issue 3 drops. Good deal. And that's kind of the one that was another sort of interesting thing that happened with this job is I kind of improved a lot, and I'm like, is that good or bad? Because it means like the early art, which we're looking at now, like it's cool, but I really am happy with the issue 3 art, and I kind of feel like that could potentially open some doors, or I could use it for a portfolio and get a job or whatever if I wanted to. Like I'm really happy with the issue 3 art. Nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this color palette, and I really like what you did with the solid blacks, but also you did some really cool things in here with the lighting. Looks really good.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that some of these were hard to draw too, because a lot of firsts, which even like I would think I wouldn't have too many, but yeah, you'd be surprised. Like he's like, I got to draw the Pentagon like exploding or whatever, like just burning, and I'm like, okay, how do I even do this? So I kind of thought of some tricks to draw it or whatever, but.
Revisit some old photos, I guess, from
Yeah, just good. I pulled more reference than I've ever pulled on this project, and that system was working okay for me. And I'd print it out because sometimes if it's on your phone, it's like switching back and forth. It's too even that like saps energy, and it's tiny, and you're looking. And so I printed out black and white because I just got a black and white printer, but I slapped the reference all over the artboard, and then right in the middle is what I'm drawing, so I can just look and see it.
Nice.
Very cool.
So that's the preview that I was able to pull from
Nice.
Dark Horse Comics, and then I can pull up the eBay.
So Per, something I know you've got a series called Earthbound, and I got a couple when I got your shorts compendium, and I think there was a vignette from Earthbound in there. Help me understand Earthbound. Give me the pitch behind Earthbound. What is it?
Yeah, that was my first book, and it's still kind of my main book almost. I think might have the most fans even or sell the most, and it's the first book finished. It's like the first arc. It's 2 trades, and then now is Earthbound Grand Prix. I'm kind of working on that now, but I keep having other things, so it kind of goes a little slow, but it's going no matter what. But Earthbound is like science fiction, takes place in a high school though. These aliens they're like bounty hunters. They're sent to Earth to recruit these like deadly warriors that have turned up on Earth, and they're undercover in a high school. They're just like these 4 ditzy girls. And then so these bounty hunters go undercover in the high school too. And the kind of main hook with Earthbound is they have these guns called R-types, and it's Spaceman and Julia, so they each have one gun, and Spaceman's is green and Julia's is purple. And if you shoot anyone with this gun, they immediately, quote unquote, join your team. It's kind of like a mind control gun. And so they kind of have different strategies. The Spaceman strategy is like almost like straight up school shooter with the gun. And he just like is blasting everyone. He's building this kind of army. Wow. And Julia's kind of going precision tactics, trying to get important people that could help her get closer to these girls. And the people who hire them, there's 4, they're called the Sirens of Violence, the 4 girls.
The Sirens of Violence?
Yeah. And then the people who hired Julian Julian Spaceman. They're called the 13th sponsor, and they said, well, you guys are competing against each other, so there's actually a tiebreaker target, and he's WizKid, who's sort of the main character of the book, and he also happens to be Julia and Spaceman's ex-partner, which is like barely hinted at. That was like an early thing with my writing, is tons of like kind of intrigue and world building that is not delved into at all. And so some of what I'm doing is like, my future projects are like, I definitely want to do a prequel eventually, and it'll be Julia, Spaceman, and WizKid going on some adventures or whatever, and how they got split up and stuff.
Cool.
There's that Nosferatu book you were showing.
Wait, you're saying I could flip this on eBay for $85? I'm a fool to hold on to this.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is Narwhal site, right? You fulfill these yourself? Is that right?
I have a guy helping me on the East Coast, who's just a really nice comic guy that we started talking, and he says too, he runs like an eBay store anyway. So, and he takes a percentage, but I just ship him the books and he handles it. And it's been going great. Nice. But I think he said he has a full Amazing Spider-Man collection.
Nice.
Like 1 through 800 or whatever. And it's worth a lot, Kind of cool.
So here you also have some sketchbooks available.
Yeah, those were like just one. They're like limited edition, just printed one time with like early campaigns. There's only a few left, so I just sent them to him. But yeah.
And that B-sides, that's one I'm definitely grabbing. I'm probably going to grab that later on tonight before I go to bed for sure. That B-sides.
Oh, nice.
And that's a nice buy. I like the price point on that.
Yeah, that goes with the shorts compendium, and just more short stories. Yeah.
And then again, more sketchbooks here. Volume 1, Volume 2, and I think up here. I guess that like volume 3. Yeah. Okay. And then
because there was 3 sketchbooks total, and actually each sketchbook has 20 pages of Nosferatu, or 22 pages. So if you get all 3, that's the very first version of Nosferatu, and some of the art's a little different, and so they're like a little collectible, but it's not crazy.
Oh, nice. So you can get the Nosferatu book by just grabbing the 3 sketchbooks. You have everything you need technically for the whole story.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Something to consider. So Earthbound 2 and then Earthbound Grand Prix. Is Earthbound Grand Prix like the third version of like Earthbound 3?
So that's like the sequel. It's like a whole new story. And it's a little bit kind of like you can actually read it before reading Earthbound, because they're just kind of separate adventures, but with the same characters. And that one is not finished yet. There's been 2 double issues released, and I'm working on the 3rd double issue now. And it's going to be 6 double issues total. So it's going to be kind of a long series by the time it's all done. But.
Oh, wow. And then here we have the shorts compendium. So you're saying this goes with the B-sides? Okay.
The shorts compendium, it's like, I don't know if it's 10 or 12 short stories. And that one got really good reviews, but it sold okay. But it was really expensive to print because it's color and it's kind of long. And so I haven't, it's like a lower profit point or whatever, and I haven't reprinted it yet. So that one's kind of a limited thing too.
Cool. And then last thing to check out in your store then is Hotel Story.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I guess that one's 45 because it's signed by me and Jared. That's we're the co-writers and Jared's the artist. And Hotel Story though that's my next book. Like that's what I was working on all this past week. Is me and Jared were finishing up part 2, and we're gonna launch in July a crowdfund, and that's gonna finish that story. So it'll be kind of like Earthbound. It's 2 trades, like finish the story.
Oh, nice.
And it's turning out like pretty good. I'm super excited about that one. I can't wait to see what people think about it. Basically.
So
that's another one I kind of hope might open some doors somehow, but I don't even know how that works these days.
What's the premise of Hotel Story?
It's like I call it like a horror romp, like a horror adventure, but it's this witch is from the penthouse suite of this hotel. She casts a spell that's basically a mass sacrifice spell, and there's a handful of people within the hotel kind of dodge the initial wave of control that the spell causes, and then they're kind of surviving. It's a lot like. Do you guys remember the old Italian horror movie called Demons and Demons 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, nice. It's a lot like Demons 2. It's like very similar, but kind of a little goofier, more comic, more fun.
Nice.
Maybe a little more bloody, even.
More bloody.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
And Philbo Baggins wants to know if you're doing any conventions this summer.
Yeah, doing Heroes Con in June, like 18th or whatever, June 20th. So maybe I'll see some people there. Any of you getting out to that one? That's in North Carolina.
I won't be. I don't have my passport yet. I haven't been back in the United States in over 10 years, but
John's Longbox is here.
Smuggle you out.
Yeah. Yes. If it wasn't for my family, I would have left already for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions, Jason or K-pop? You want to ask about anything on the eBay by chance?
No, that's very cool. I'm very interested in the hotel story. I'm very huge into witches and horror.
Thanks. Yeah, you'll like it. July is when the crowdfunds and both volumes will be available.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Jason, do you have anything you want to ask with eBay?
I definitely have to. I'm gonna have to figure out my strategy on Earthbound because it's very intriguing, and that's probably the next storyline I chase down. Looks very cool.
I might grab those 3 sketchbooks now that I know that I could get the whole vampire story, the original story, and then I can grab that book basically by doing that at the same time. I like that idea. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do with that eBay store, but definitely there'll be some buys there later tonight. Is there anything else do we want to share link wise or have a look at?
Not for me. Anything for you guys?
I can't think of anything.
I have a YouTube. Alex, can you post my YouTube?
Yeah, post YouTube.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll stream once in a while with Jason. We do it's quarterly-ish, but we do a little historic comic, kind of reading a cool standout comic and talking about it. With John's Longbox, we're doing, who's in the chat. John, how's it going? John got to interview JR.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
John Ramita. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to watch that this weekend. K-pop, your show. Any creators you've interviewed recently that kind of stood out? Anyone you want to name check?
I've done far too many streams. Try to
see. That's like me with the reading books. You got to have like a journal or something.
I have a notebook full of just ones I'm trying to schedule, but I also have a whole notebook full of people that I'm trying to schedule, but I got so far behind on scheduling because of life. But I'm trying to get back on that. But things.
No problem.
What's up, Justin? But yeah, no, I had a lovely chat today with Vince Nico. He has a fun campaign, very gnarly horror inspired type book, really cool art. He's got that with Terry Kavanaugh.
Cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
Sorry, I'm just trying to get over to his YouTube. Here we go. Okay, so
yeah.
Give me a sec here. I'm going to share. I'm just going to share your YouTube here for a sec.
Yeah, just take a look.
Okay. And here we go. So, how many do we have watching right now? It's
124.
Nice, 124 watching us. So, yeah, if you head over, here's Narwhal Books, 2,000 subscribers. Boy, I'm envious. So yeah, here's your regular shows. How often do you stream? Per?
I have kind of one main show that's called Creative Block, with me and 3 other creators, and we do it's a lot of comic book breakdown and storytelling breakdown kind of stuff. Which it was funny. We started it maybe it's almost 2 years ago, and I was kind of thinking if you're oh, we'll do it it's about writing, storytelling, comics. You're yeah, there's maybe 3 weeks of content. We'll do 3-act structure. We'll do whatever, hero's journey, blah blah blah. But we've been going for 2 years, and we'll do shows that are why we hate the hero's journey. which is not a true statement, but like, we'll explore like some more interesting kind of things.
Premises, yeah.
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 It's cool.
Well, it's a good show. I lurk in there a lot.
Oh, thanks, K-pop. Cool.
All right.
Yeah, Alex VRB says next episode is 100.
Nice.
Oh, congrats.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think we're on 97 now, so it must have been around the same time. Yeah, we're 3 Fridays away from our 100th episode. It's
We'll
crazy how
race you to
quickly-
100.
Yeah. But it's crazy how quickly that happens.
Oh, yeah. It happens out of nowhere. I think I started around 2 years too. I'm like, I did like 200 shows.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Too many.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll turn. So, did we answer all the? I don't know if you've been watching the chat, Jason. Did we answer all the questions?
I think we have. Yeah.
Okay.
And then actually, scroll up on his channel there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of scroll up. Keep going. So right there's the Mr. X episode that we did with John's Longbox, and then Paul Ricochet. He joined it like midstream, and he was one of the co-creators, early developers of Mr. X. That was a fantastic show and a great conversation.
So it wasn't even
I love
scripted?
hearing the old stories about what they were up to, like these artists. And actually, that came up on Miller Time. There's a lot that are kind of like that, but shoot, who's the guy everyone loves? Joe Madera.
Yeah.
So he was on
Battle
Miller Time.
Chasers.
Yeah. And his story's crazy. Like he was in high school, but he lived in New York, and he became an intern in the middle of high school. And he was like the stories about that just seem really crazy. He's going into the Marvel offices, catching, and he'd go in the morning, and people had been pulling all-nighters. You'd see him asleep at their desks, and then they'd call him in to help him. They're like, here, line the panels on this. And he's like, I got to touch your original art. I don't want to touch your art. And so like, it's funny, like where he starts and obviously where he goes in kind of a short amount of time. And that was a really interesting story.
Yeah, he was very influential there for a couple of years in like the mid 90s. There were like a lot of people that they like kind of caught his vibe and were trying to draw like him. And it was I'm sure that was I have to watch the interview, but I'm sure that was kind of freaky for him. Like
it sounded like he was kind of the first, so he got a lot of shit right at the beginning. And he didn't actually like that or appreciate that. He said he quit checking mail because all the mail was hate mail. And because he got put on, I didn't know this, but he got put on X-Men right after Jim Lee. So he was the next guy after Jim Lee. And that's when he got all the hate mail. But then of course you go to the future 20 years and everyone's influenced by him.
Yeah.
Right.
Wild.
Cool stuff.
Nice.
All right. So yeah, that's everything that I have.
All right. So congratulations on Vatican City and all the other projects you get going. It's fantastic to see. Looking forward to having you back on again. Next time you want to come on, just hit up Mad Ruth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please do.
Thanks. I will want to do a little tour to promote Hotel Story. So
yeah,
possibly for that.
No, the whole purpose of the show, if you've got a live campaign, hit us up. Come on, and we try to see how many backers we can get live. It's I live for that. So
you got to come up with. I do that a little too. I'll help promote. And if someone comes on my show and they get backers, it's called the Narwhal Nuge, and it's a wrestling move. That's where I get like,
yes, the wrestling. Let's go.
We usually have the Friday night hat trick where people will get 3 backers. I think one guy got 7 backers.
Yep.
During the show. So
cool.
We've got a small but very very passionate audience.
Loyal and dedicated. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's why me and Jason keep doing this. So
yeah.
I've heard rumors.
Yeah, come get the pear pump on my channel. Want to pump you up.
Nice.
All right. So K-pop, what are you doing this week? Any news? Anything people should be aware of in terms of your show this coming week?
Tomorrow I'm be running around a local one-day con. Bill Morrison puts it on. It's actually his high school, so that's fun. There's a bunch of artists and creators over there, and a bunch of comic shops go there. And then just my usual stuff. On the 16th, though, I will be co-hosting again for the EXP because Mog and Mel are out of town, so I'll be doing there. So if you guys like original art, it's a place to come and hang and check it out.
Nice.
Fantastic, fantastic. I will be hard at work on Jupiter issue 2, plugging away on that. And I'm the good news, the Captain Kleinbottle vignette in Jupiter issue 2 is like a 13-page fight scene. It's like total Kirby fight scene. You're gonna love it once it's done.
Is it going to be long and drawn out like I put in my 4th issue of Soul Tack with the sword fight? Or
not as good as it won't be as good as your sword fight, but it'll be there's all kinds of good stuff. And there is there is, dare I say, a posse cut collaboration in issue 2 of Jupiter. Mom's the word, but it's gonna be you're gonna be like this guy here teamed up with that rapper. No way, but just stay tuned. You'll get a kick out of it when you see it.
Did you read any of Jason's old Jupiter books from the 90s? Just out of curiosity.
No, I've only read the new one, and then was there like tie into some of your old zines, or just in that issue at the end, maybe, or something?
No, there's an ad for the Comixology Jupiter Zero, which is like a best of. What I plan to do is I plan to make the Jupiter issue 0 best of a physical print add-on for the second for Jupiter issue 2. So people that if you're curious about the Jupiter from the 90s, it is available. The best of it is available on Amazon Comixology, but I will make this a print version if people want it for issue 2.
Good idea. But there were some, like, it's not even Jupiter, it's like a different series you did, and they're like single issue or single page comics.
Yep, that stuff was from Jupiter. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, John's Long Box got issue 7 of Jupiter, the 90s Jupiter.
Yeah. I'm missing issue 9, so, and then I'll have them all. So
no, I am not teaming up with Diddy. No. All right, Craig, I have no idea what you have in store for us on this outro. Your outros get funnier and funnier each week. So we've got 132 people watching live. Thank you for joining us to kick off your weekend, sharing some laughs, looking at Per's projects and his fantastic art. We appreciate you tuning in and hanging out, and we're happy you were able to join us and kick off your weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I look forward to picking up Vatican City, and definitely I'm going to hit up that eBay at the end of the show and figure out what I'm backing. So excited to have you on our show again. Sorry,
so Infinite Entertainment, Craig put Per's eBay store in the chat. So if you're still watching, you can go and go bookmark that eBay page.
Yeah, and then July is Hotel Story. I definitely recommend that, and that'll be the next big one that I do. That one, it's like Jared is the artist, and he and I co-wrote it, but I was like helping him, or I'm just like editor a little bit and creative, and so it's both of ours, like 50-50, and it's a great collaboration. I kind of think he's a genius, and we utilized his genius to its fullest potential.
Nice.
Very cool. If you'd like to stick around in the back rooms, maybe we can discuss getting you in for Hotel Story, maybe booking it. And we'll see if you wouldn't mind sticking around. We can maybe talk after this outro ends.
Sure.
Get through that. But to 133 watching, thank you so much for tuning in. Per, thank you so much for joining us on the Friday nights. Every Friday we come to you at 10 p.m. Eastern. Same as well. K-pop, thank you so much. And with that, here's my 6-minute outro. Have a great weekend, everyone.
A man, reported to be 30 years old, bypassed safety barriers and entered a protected area within the Terracotta Army Museum in Xi'an. Once inside the restricted pit, he physically interfered with the ancient clay soldiers, damaging 2 of the priceless figures. Security staff quickly restrained him, and authorities later confirmed he is undergoing evaluation for mental health concerns. The pit he entered is nearly 18 feet deep, raising questions about how the breach occurred. The Terracotta Army, over 2,000 years old, includes more than 8,000 life-sized warriors originally created to guard Emperor Qin Shi Huang's tomb. Museum officials have confirmed that repairs are underway and the exhibit remains open to visitors.
Recently, researchers from the Politecnico di Milano made a groundbreaking discovery beneath the Sforza Castle. Using advanced technologies like ground-penetrating radar and laser scanning, they confirmed the existence of secret tunnels that were once only hinted at in a sketch by Leonardo da Vinci from around 1495. These underground passageways were likely designed for military use, allowing soldiers to defend the castle if its defenses were breached. One of the tunnels even appears to lead towards the Basilica of Santa Maria delle Grazie, where the wife of Duke Ludovico Sforza was buried. Historical records suggest that the Duke might have commissioned this tunnel for private visits to her tomb. Leonardo da Vinci, who spent time at the castle as a member of the Duke's court, was known for his innovative designs in military structures. It's a testament to how history can be hidden beneath our feet, waiting to be uncovered by modern technology and curiosity.
This microphone is really hot. It's hot.
Love Turkey, and I love my Mr. Microphone.
You can broadcast in mono or with two more radios in stereo. Yeah.
Broadcast over any FM car radio.
Hey, good looking. We'll be back to pick you up later.
There are no attaching wires, so you're free to move around.
I got one. 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 I got a Mr. Microphone and I love it.
And it's only $14.88. Mr. Microphone, buy 2 or 3, they really make great Christmas gifts.
When they said 200 million bees, they meant it.
Hundreds of millions of bees angrily swarming after the truck carrying them in their hives crashed.
So when I heard that this had happened, we thought, well, we got the suits. Let's go and see what we can do and help.
Beekeeper Derek Condit shared this video with me. A dozen or more beekeepers from several local counties working to save as many bees as possible.
So we're basically one by one rebuilding the beehives over there, putting the frames back in and then having to stack them.
And will the bees just go back into their hives or no?
It's a percentage thing. In this case, no, there's going to be massive losses.
It calms them down with the smoke. Sometimes it works. When they're really angry like this, it doesn't really work too well. We've had a number of the beekeepers, they've gotten stung as well as a couple of our deputies.
Throughout the course of being here, I got stung right on the eyebrow. My photographer got stung a couple times on the cheek, but I'm told they're honeybees. The stings aren't that bad.
Well, what is that? What is that? What is it? Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah! Oh, my eyes! My eyes! Ah!
Run.
They got me mobbing like I'm lost and ready to get my slug on. I load my clip and slip my motherfucking gloves on. I ain't scared to blast on these suckers if they test me. Trust, I got my Glock, cop a player if they press me. Bust some motherfuckers with a dash and better duckers. I ain't looking winner. Blasting, I'm a nothing drinking in the sea. Ain't getting high on the lookout for my enemies. Don't wanna die, tell me why, cause the stress is getting major. A $150 across the face with my razor. What can I do but be a thug until I'm dead and gone? I keep my brain on the game and stay headstrong. It's sorry bastards wanna kill me in my sleep. I'm really cannot see him every day. It's just a struggle, steady thugging on the streets and I've been ballin' low. Don't let him make you worry, keep swinging like you suck. so much pain.